Satnam and welcome. My name is Ann Taylor. It is my honor to lead you in Kundalini Yoga practice today. We are now at week 4 of the Portal of Light series during the month of June. And we're now moving into a different phase. Last Sunday on our practice day was the first day of summer, the longest day of the year, the most full illumination. And so the question now becomes, as we move from illumination into integration, what happens after the peak? What happens after a peak experience? This is what I would like to hold as we practice today. Some people have had experiences during yoga practice, meditation, or simply on their own where they were spiritual experiences, if you will. And similar to the sun being at its fullest zenith, it's these moments are very special, but we have to resist the temptation to hold on to them. We don't want to lose that light. We don't want to lose that peak experience. And so the question becomes, what do we do with it? And perhaps more importantly, what is it asking of us? Maybe you see a field of colors when you're practicing yoga and you're thinking, wow, this is a great experience. But it's momentary, it's passing. And so what do we do with that? How can we integrate that into our daily lives? So how should I embody the light? It was interesting when I was reading Jung's Memories, Dreams, and Reflections that he wrote very close to the end of his life. A few years earlier, he had had a massive heart attack where what he describes in the book is out-of-body experiences. And before shuttles and whatever orbited the earth, he had visions where he could see and describe the earth. And then he had visions of a sacred union between mythological and ancient figures. Fantastic images. To put it as peak experiences would almost be underrating it. And what happened, it took him 3 weeks after the visualization stopped to decide if he even wanted to live again. He went from that intensity and he said, oh no, now I'm back into the gray box system. But finally it took a few weeks, and then finally he was ready to, come back into life more fully. So when we brush up against something numinous, and last week was a symbol of that, the sun at its peak. What do we do with those experiences? So just not to think about it during practice, but just hold it in your field and see how we can develop a relationship with such experiences. Now, perhaps you've never had an experience like that. Think of a time when you were just fully moved by watching a sunset and it just grabbed you so fully. I think most of us can remember a time or that, or perhaps you were in a canyon and the beauty was so overwhelming that it becomes life-changing. And so that's what we want to learn how to do, is integrate the peak experiences into normal everyday waking life. Let's begin by tuning in with the Adi Mantra, and then we'll begin our practice. Placing the hands at the heart center, pressing the thumbs into the sternum, checking your posture. The spine is straight. Chest is out, chin is in. Inhale deeply. Exhale. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Namo Ong Namo Gurudev Namo Ong Namo Gurudev Namo Adgare Name Jagadgare Name Satgare Name Sri Gurudev Name Adgare Name Jagadgare Name Satgare Name Sri Gurudev Name Adgare Name Jagadgare Name Satgare Name Sri Gurudev Name. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath. Exhale, relax the hands down. We're going to begin with the basic pranayama series. We want to just get ourselves grounded. We want to get our nervous system settled and balanced. And then the Kriya will be awakening to the 10 bodies. Because I chose this one because it gives each one of the chakra points a burst of energy. So we're talking about the light, embodying the light. So these are 10 bodies of light within our being. The 10th being the radiant body. And you know when someone has a strong radiant body if you walk into the room and you have a sense they are radiating. And so that will lead us to the meditation, which is the radiant body. So we're going to be working with this illumination, the chakra systems all lighting up. And just before we get started with the pranayama, just a quote from Carl Jung that I think I guess it's been one of the most meaningful quotes to me. The decisive question for man is he related to something infinite or not? So that's a question that we ask ourselves. And of course, he lived in a time where humanity, or it was reduced to man. So it's really all humans. And are you related to something infinite or not? Do you sense that there's some infinite connection? That is the point of yoga, to yoke the finite and the infinite. Do you feel a connection to the infinite? So before we embody all of this light, we will get down and do the work. And that is balancing the nervous system. Okay, so we begin with left nostril breathing. The left hand in Gyan Mudra, index and thumb touching, blocking off the right nostril. Stay on the left, inhale left, exhale left, and let's begin. And be mindful, the purpose of our practice is not to escape our reality. The purpose is to practice in participation. And when we practice in community, it amplifies the energy. So just mentally connect with everyone in our practice today and those who will practice in the future, including perhaps your future self. As we continue to inhale left and exhale left, eyes closed, focused at the brow point. We're getting off the sidelines. We're taking action, practicing on a regular basis, whatever you determine that to be, that you promise yourself to show up. And now switch nostrils, inhale right and exhale right. No switching. Inhale right, exhale right. Allowing the light to circulate throughout your body, throughout your auric field, your pranic field, radiant field. The next phase of this pranayama is to inhale left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. Long, deep breathing, slow and deep. Open up the belly as you inhale. If the thoughts begin to come, and they will, simply notice, let them go. Don't grab onto them. Come back to the breath. Follow the breath. The next phase is to inhale left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right, and continue that pattern. As we inhale through the left, we're engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, the moon energy, the lunar energy, if you will. The right side is the sun energy, the solar energy, sympathetic nervous system, the get up and go. Working, balancing these systems. And next we're going to switch, inhaling right, exhaling left. Inhaling right, exhaling left. Long and deep. If you don't like your mental state, emotional state, the quickest way to shift it is by practicing your breath work. And now we'll wrap it up with 2 minutes of breath of fire. And as always, ladies, if you are pregnant or on early menstrual cycle, substitute long, deep breathing. And let's begin. Inhale and exhale are equal, pulling the navel point in sharply on the exhale. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath. Exhale and relax. And just take a moment before we launch into the Kriya. I love the Awakening to the 10 Bodies Kriya. It's one that I put into my rotation because I love the way it does actually work the whole spine. And you feel the energy as you come up. So the first couple of exercises are working on the lower chakras, and then we start elevating, and it feels really good. So keeping in mind the purpose of our practice, the purpose of our meditation is not to escape reality, escape our life, but to fully participate. And the participation of doing it in community is especially beautiful. Okay, now we'll start with stretch pose. The important thing here is keep the small of the back on the floor. So the exercise will look like this. With breath of fire, eyes are open, gazing over the toes. If you need to modify, you can bend your knees, lift one at a time, experiment and see what works. And let's begin. Just for a minute. And relax. And just take a moment and breathe deeply. So you feel that's really engaging the third chakra. It actually is strengthening the abs as well as working the energy centers. The next is knees to nose with breath of fire. The eyes remain closed, focused on the brow point, and that's the default unless otherwise specified. So bringing the knees towards the nose. Maybe you can reach, maybe not. Begin a powerful breath of fire. If you have neck issues, pay close attention. You may need to put your head down periodically or for the whole time. If you're able to hold your head up, do so. You are in charge of your body, as always. Thirty more seconds. And slowly come up into easy pose. Okay, and now we'll prepare for Ego Eradicator. Taking the hands and placing the fingers on the tops of the pads of the hands, the thumb is sticking out. The arms come up to 60-degree position and we'll begin a breath of fire. These are relatively short. This is for 2 minutes, so see if you can manage through. But again, use your judgment. Let the yoga meet you where you're at. And let's begin. Be mindful to keep your shoulders down. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath, touch the thumbs, stretch out the fingers, and reach overhead up as you're applying root lock, pulling the navel point in, the pelvic floor up. Exhale, gracefully relax your arms down through your auric field, and just take a couple of moments. Okay, and now we'll stretch our legs wide for life nerve stretch. If you're highly flexible, you'll take both index and middle finger and wrap them around your big toes. Take your thumb and press into the nail bed. If not, we'll begin by inhaling center and then reaching to the left, leading with the heart center, keeping the back straight, inhaling up, exhaling to the right. And let's begin. If you're reaching onto your calves, that's perfectly fine. We know and respect our limitations. The philosophy of this teaching is the body will become more flexible at its own pace. It could be millimeter by millimeter. It doesn't matter. And now begin to inhale center, exhale down, inhale up, and exhale forward. Just up and down. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath, hold the position. Exhale and reach down to your maximum low position. Inhale and relax back into easy pose. We'll just take a brief pause between some of the exercises. Staying with the idea of being aware of the circulation of the light, the opening of the chakras as we move up the spine. And now placing the hands on the ankles, we prepare for spinal flex, the first round. Inhale as you rock the hips forward, exhale back. Keep the head from bobbing up and down, and just find a comfortable rhythm, synchronizing the breath and the motion. Full breath. Inhale center. Suspend the breath, apply root lock. Exhale and relax. Maintain a meditative state. And coming into rock pose, sitting on our heels. We'll continue with spinal flex, placing the hands on the thighs and avoiding having them ride up and down. And let's begin. Inhale forward, exhale back. You'll notice that more of your spine is engaging. It's targeting a different section of the spine. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath, apply root lock. Exhale and relax for a moment. As we now move up to the heart center. The hands come on top of the shoulders, fingers in front, thumbs in back. Keep the upper arms parallel to the floor. And inhale as you rotate your torso and head to the left. Exhale right. Once again, find a nice rhythm and synchronize the breath and the movement. Deep breathing. Inhale, center. Relax the arms a moment. As we continue now moving into the upper portion of the body, we're going to return our hands to that position. And this time we're going to inhale, touching the wrists behind the head and coming back to the original position. Inhaling up, exhaling down. If your wrists don't touch, that's fine. Just try to point your elbows towards the ceiling. Be careful not to crank on your neck. Inhale up, suspend the breath. Exhale and relax the arms down. Okay, one more exercise in this position. Interlace the fingers, and we're going to inhale up, exhale down, trying to keep the elbows locked and straight. Expanding the auric field. Inhale, relax, and come into easy pose as we begin alternate shoulder shrugs, beginning with the left shoulder coming up. Hands on the knees, and let's begin. Once again, synchronize your breath. And switch sides. Inhale inhale the right shoulder up. And now both shoulders up at the same time. Inhale, both shoulders up, suspend the breath. Exhale. Getting to the final two exercises. First will be neck turns. Inhale and rotate your head to the left, and exhale to the right. And now switch. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale and relax. And our final exercise is frog pose. So either 13 or 26, whatever feels right to you today. Remembering that the heels remain off the ground. This is the down position. If you're able to keep your eyes closed, do so. And inhale up, exhale down. Okay, it looks like most of you are finished. Okay, and please come into easy pose for our meditation. Meditation to develop the radiant body. So as we've internalized the light, we're integrating it, and we begin to radiate it. We become the light. This has a mudra that may be challenging for some. So if you feel that you need to release the mudra, please keep it in your mind's eye and stay with meditation. The mudra is to interlace the fingers and put them over the crown. Chest out, chin in. So the arms are back, so we're not forward, we're just like right over the crown. There is a mantra with this. If you know the mantra, please chant along with it. However, it's one that is fairly complicated, and don't worry about it if you don't know it. Simply allow the sound vibration to hit you in waves and allow that to be healing for you. Okay, so with that in mind, and so if you are chanting it, or imagine that you're chanting it, you're going to project from the fifth chakra, that's the throat center, and vibrating the sound as Nod in the eighth. So that would be the pranic body. So just visualize that Nod, that sound current coming from the throat. Okay, and I will start the mantra. Just take a moment to adjust your volume if need be. And let your radiant field expand.
ganja banja laka baka kalde ala lake bay anama kama gahardaha anate pramate ajoni amoni narage narunge narupe nareke akaramanga bharamanga ganjeya leke aja ala aba aba abu aju anasakas aganja banja laka baka kalde ala leka bay anama kama gahardaha anate pramate ajoni amoni narage narange narupe nareke akaramanga bharamanga ganjeya leke aja ala aba aba abu aju anasakas aganja banja laka baka kalde ala leka bay anama kama gahardaha anate pramate ajoni amoni narage narange narupe nareke akaramanga bharamanga ganjeya leke
And deep inhale, you can relax your arms down. Great job. And slowly make your way onto your back for deep relaxation. The gong music, which you are about to hear, the title is called Sun on Sun. That's S-U-N on S-O-N. So just allow yourself to be ready to receive the vibrations. And I am going to join you for the gong bath for a few minutes to let all of that integrate. Begin to make small circles with your wrists and ankles. Reaching your arms behind your head, stretch your spine. Elongate your body, stretching your spine nice and straight. And moving into your cat stretches, arms out to the side, one knee across your body, your head turns the opposite way. And switching sides. Rubbing the palms of the hands and soles of the feet briskly together. Grabbing your knees and coming up as we prepare to close the sacred circle. The gong is a beautiful instrument for integration, just letting these sound vibrations massage every cell of your body. We began this month asking the question whether we could hold more light. And now we conclude the series by asking whether we can live from that light. The solstice has passed. The light remains. The question is, what will we now do with it? The invitation of individuation is not to become extraordinary. It is to become fully ourselves. And rubbing the palms together, place them at the heart center. We'll close with a long sat and a short nam. Inhale, exhale, and inhale to close. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam, and thank you for your practice together. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.